Hello, this is Greg Asselman, Green Greg's, coming to you on the first day of September 21. Time on deck is 21:0500 hours Central Daylight Time. My friends, I got to tell you, the sun has delivered a 1-2 geomagnetic storm punch coming at us. The first, which should arrive tonight, it should be a G1 level storm. And tomorrow, sometime on Thursday, we should get a G2 level storm. Now, it shouldn't be anything to worry about. The G2 level storm could cause some minor problems, or if it lasts long enough, it could cause some problems in certain areas. But this is more warning shots, guys, for what could come. We've seen the sun throw out some major CMEs on the other side a few weeks ago, away from Earth. This spot was kind of sort of facing Earth at the time. It is turning around on the limb of the sun. And I want to show you various websites with things on this. Let's start with spaceweather.com. And we'll look at the SOHO and other things. So we'll like take a look at some of these pictures and talk about it. But I'll start with a presentation I've got to kind of put some of these things in perspective, just a short little few charts out of a bigger presentation on loss of the power grid. As you might know, I have chaired 2 power grid defense conferences. And so I'm bringing this news as part of my Eyes Wide Open, Head on a Swivel series here, because this is a proposition my channel helps you survive, thrive, and stay out of the hive. Now, in those regards, I bring a lot of other videos that gives you the kind of knowledge and things you need to know to take care of yourself, such as gardening and eating from the wild, the weeds and the trees that you can eat for free. So subscribe to my channel, bang the update notification bell, and click off, because a lot of my videos of late, I've been just trying to get you guys aware of what's coming at us, because it's coming in so many directions. That's why I tell everybody you need to keep your eyes wide open and head on a swivel, because it is really coming fast and free skies now, and it's just picking up pace. It just ain't slowing down. It's getting nuttier by the day. It seems it's more and more stuff is coming, and that's all good reasons you should prep. And like I said, eating free from the weeds and trees is kind of hard to beat, but then again, you may not get all the calories and protein you need and certain other things. So the best way to ensure that you got all that stuff is to prep and store food you can long storage food. And I got a great deal with that. I've got, you don't want to hit my desk today. Hit my chin instead. I got this lightweight freeze-dried food. This is a 2-week supply in this bucket. It lasts for 25 years. You get 2,000 calories a day right at it for 2 weeks. And this stuff, it makes real food when it's reconstituted. It's not goopy stuff. It's real actual food with all the texture and everything. It's wonderful, delicious food. 2,000 calories a day, far more than a lot of the other vendors. And it's easy to store, easy to carry. Some of the best, most easy to carry buckets and pouches. Buckets are good for other things. If you want to bug out, guys, in a backpack, that's a whole lot easier to carry than canned stuff. A lot of the other things that's out there, a lot of the other pouches are bigger than that. Those pouches are 4 servings, by the way. And breakfast, lunch, and dinner, go with this, and you'll be a winner. You go to prepwithgregs.com, prepwithgregs.com to find that. And when you're in there, you can click on the My Patriot Supply logo, which is an affiliate link for me, so it helps me if you go there. And they have the widest selection of anybody else long-term storage food. You get gluten-free, you can get vegan, or you can get low-carb meat eaters, and many other prepping supplies there. All right, enough about that. So let's get back to the sun, because it's all about the sun, guys. The sun is in control of our weather and our solar system, our climate, and today our electronics and electric grid are all subject to being damaged by the sun. I am going to share a PowerPoint presentation to kind of put this in perspective. This is just a few slides out of a bigger presentation. It's got 87 slides. I'm going to show you about 5 or 6 here, so don't worry, I'm not going into all that. This just highlighting some of the storms, not talking about what happened last few weeks ago. And they don't even cover the Halloween storm. But anyway, what you see here is the Keratin event, and we've all heard about this one, would totally fry Earth's power grid. The railroad event would fry the modern power grid that we have today. It's largely believed it would. And that occurred in 1921. 61 years between these 2 events, guys. Not very much. 62 years between these 2 events. Not very much. So it's been a lot longer since this one. But we did have the Quebec hydro event in 1989. It took down Quebec's grid for 9 hours. And I have heard a lot of people on other channels, so don't worry. If you're on the light side of the sun, that won't happen. This occurred at 2:40 something a.m. in the morning on the dark side of the planet. So you are not out of the woods if it's nighttime. That is totally a misperception, guys. So we had another keratin level event that we just missed back in July of 2012. So maybe 2012 was supposed to be doomsday, and we just missed it. So the Mayans didn't quite get it right. Some people say, well, hey, I'm just having fun. I'm not subscribing to that. But here's some guys to put it in perspective, and I'm going to show you a picture of the filament that just came off the sun in a moment. This is why I started these charts first. I want you to see the approximate size of the Earth. We take a lot of Earth to go all the way across here, guys. It's tiny compared to the sun and compared to these coronal mass ejections, flares, and things that kick out. So Earth is tiny compared to all of that. So, and look at this. This is a heck of a CME, guys. Woo-wee. Yeah, the sun can throw something out, guys, and it can be big. This is the filament coming off the sun right here. And we just had one of those. So, oh yeah, by the way, there's a reticle. A lot of these satellites put a reticle up so that you're not looking directly at the sun. And typically, the inner circle is the diameter of the sun. And all this is so that we can see the effects of what the sun's kicking out without the sunlight directly blinding the sensor. And that's probably Venus right there. So check this out, guys. These are big storms, ginormous. This is the size of the sun right here. It's inner circle. Remember, it's probably two separate instruments there. Now, what happens with a CME, a solar coronal mass ejection, is that it hits Earth's magnetic field and it wraps around the Earth, and this stuff comes down the field lines on the Earth. So absolutely can impact the entire planet if it's strong enough. A CME can impact the entire planet if it is strong enough. Some people don't know that. They don't believe it. And it can hit you at nighttime. Even though you're facing away from the sun, solar weather can hit you at nighttime. Not to mention, they don't travel at the speed of light. A CME travels slower. It takes a few days. The ones that are coming at us now, we're like the 28th of August. Today's the 1st of September. Sometimes it takes them a few days to get to. Some comes at different speeds. And so we have these different ratings. A G1 is minor. A G2 is moderate. This is what's coming at us. A G5 will fry the grid. The keratin event was like a high-end G5, guys. The 2012 event was a high-end G5. Widespread voltage control problems and protective system problems can occur. Some grid systems may experience complete failure or blackouts. Well, keratin events, they all get blacked out, okay? So maybe it should be a G6 on here. G1 minus, the first one that's hitting tonight. Weak power grid fluctuations can occur. Minor impacts to satellite operations, possible. Okay, so these are like, now G2. High altitude power systems may experience voltage alarms. Long duration storms may cause transformer damage. So you could get some power outages from the G2. Spacecraft operations, corrective actions to orientation may be required by ground control to minimize the effect of this. So there you are, my friends. So a G2 could cause some damage. It could if it lasts long enough. So that's the operative thing with this. So we're not going to go into all these other things right here. I'm going to get out of the PowerPoint. Stop share. Hello. Now we're going to go over and do another share. We're going to go to the interweb. The internets, as W used to call them, right? All right, hang on, guys. Let's do that. Here we are, the interwebs. Let's load this up a little larger. One momentum, please. All right, guys. I'm going to minimize my picture here. This is the filament right there. This is that filament streaming up. You see that? Now remember, Earth wouldn't be the size about the size on these smaller black dots here. Okay, so that's a lot larger than Earth. Just to put this in perspective, that's why I started out with the PowerPoint first, was to establish that perspective point. So once again, the rivals are today and tomorrow. G1 today, G2 tomorrow. Forecasters expect geomagnetic storms as strong as the G2 category, which means that people as far south as Idaho and New York could see the auroras. And two coronal mass ejections are heading our way. First was hurled to us on the 28th of August when sunspot AR 28 60 exploded. Then later today, this happened. So the explosion is going to give us the G1. This filament burst here is going to give us the G2. A massive filament of magnetism erupted, producing a second CME together. They are proceeding in tandem toward our planet. And it could be, if they hit close enough in time, the combined effects might cause a little bit more damage to some grid components, especially if they're close enough together. Now, I don't know if that's the case. I think we do have some separation. All right, well, we get the double blow whammy. And we're over on G1, G2. So let's scroll up and look at that. So, yeah, I already showed you the chart of what G1s and G2s are. No point going into that. Oh, space weather shouldn't be the only thing I was sharing. So I'm going to stop this share. There's some other websites open. I must have pulled the tab down. Accidentally. Okay, so let's go back and we're going to do another share. Here we go. That's get these things crossed up. Now I'll move this and expand it. There we go. Solar flares, and also solar flares are classified. See, geomagnetic storms, what gets here, they're classified on that G scale. But the flares are actually classified on a scale from A to X. It does not carry every letter. So it's the A, B, C, M, and X. And this is your strength at watts per square meter of X-rays at Earth. So it's got to come all the way to Earth in the wavelengths of 100 to 800 picometers. So this is it's not talking about visible light. So this is just X-ray flux density per square meter. And how much you get here determines the scale. So you can see it's roughly an order of magnitude change each time. 10 to the minus 7 is 8. Minus 7 to minus 6 is a B. Anything below is minus 7. From minus 6 to minus 5 is a C and M class. And there's different gradations in each of these classes you see sometimes too. 10 to minus 5, 10 to minus 4. Anything above 10 to minus 4 is X class. And that one has the most gradations in it, because you can go really high on that possibly. So I'm not going to stay on this page. Examples of largest flares. What was that? I just saw that. Hardened event. Yeah, there's a lot of flares to talk about here. This is NASA, so it's fair use.
In early March 2012, a powerful X5.4 flare erupted on the sun. The blast was observed by the fleet of spacecraft dedicated to monitoring our star, plus one unlikely addition, NASA's Fermi Gamma Ray Space Telescope. For Fermi, which...
By the way, everything produced by the government is open source. We're free to use it because the government can't copyright it because it belongs to people. But you have to give them credit. So I'm giving them credit verbally. This is from NASA.
Detects high-energy gamma rays. The sun is almost never the brightest, steady source in the sky. That distinction is reserved for the Vela pulsar. But on March 7th, the sun outshone everything else Fermi could see. Thanks to the big flare, the sun had become the brightest object in the gamma ray sky. Due to the keen angular resolution...
Okay, you don't hear all that. Sun got bright. That's all you need to know, right? Check it out. Right here is the SOHO imaging. You can look at it in different wavelengths here. Oh yeah, the sunspot that we're considering about AR 2860 is now rotating out of view. It's still pretty active. There it is, guys. Rotating out of view. So it's going to come back around. Will it die down on the other side? They usually do. Usually, if it comes back stronger, we're in trouble, guys. But the whole point of this is the sun can do any of these things at any time. Check this out. Air eating, whatever. That's all I can see. Okay. Can cause power surges and damage electric grid. Yeah, they can. Not they will. Yeah, no news, nothing I hadn't already said here. So let's skip up to the next one. Earth on the alert for G2 geomagnetic storm. The This is some artist rendition of what's going on magnetic field lines, flux, CME going out here. Let's do some artist idea of it. Again, nothing really said here that we already said. All right, so I'm gonna stop the share. Bing, halo. All right. So the operative thing is we're getting some storms coming out. So it could possibly cause equipment damage based on northern latitudes, but is not particularly likely. But this could happen later. This thing could swing around and be stronger next cycle, next time the spot comes around, or it could die out. Whole new set, it could be started up. It's a random thing. There's estimated to be a 14% probability per decade of getting a Carrington event, which would totally wipe out our grid. That's very high. That means in your lifetime, you're more likely to sit, in someone's average lifetime, they're more likely to sit than not. So why don't we fix our grid? All right, let's see my recent video with Command Sergeant Mabee. We're talking about things you can do to help get a grid hardened. Also, I put notes in a lot of my power grid videos about things like that. And there's the one with Ambassador Hank Cooper. He talks about how you can get your AMA involved and how they can really work to get your grid hardened, and how he's worked this in the Carolinas that's working. So there's things we can do, guys, ladies and gentlemen. There's things we can do to get our grid hardened. That's what we need to do. It would be nice to be able to sit back in a solar storm like Carrington event and just sit back and go, ooh, ah, and look at the wonder video without having to worry about the end of the world. That could happen if we get our people doing the right thing. Otherwise, it's going to be ooh, ah, oh, yeah, we don't want that. All right, so that's what we got to do. But in the meantime, the grid's not hardened, so you need to get yourself prepared. Do what you can in case the grid goes down. If you got a bug out, look at my nuclear bug out video. Stay the heck away from nuclear power plants. But nobody in the northern hemisphere will be safe when those things start cooking off. Yeah, you don't want to be close to them, but yeah, even the whole northern hemisphere will be messed up. So let's hope this don't happen. Let's hope we get a grid hardened and get these things done. We got to push for it, guys. We really got to push. That's one of the things I've been trying to do here. A lot of people have been accusing me of fear porn. Okay, you're putting out fear porn. No, I'm trying to put solutions out here, things you can do to stop the thing we're most worried about, and how to prepare for it in case it does hit anyway, or other things come along. So there's nothing wrong with that. I got videos telling you how to garden in such a way you don't have to go to the store to buy supplies, because you may not be able to. Well, we got that kind of information. That's one of those videos. Started a lot of stuff on bed preparation. It's kind of boring if you don't know how to plant a plant, and I'm showing you 15 minutes of how to set the bed up. That is exactly what you need to know if you're going to make it when the grid is a no, no, no. All right, guys, enough for all that. So I'm not too worried about this storm, but when this one will come along that we got to really worry about. We got a lot of international tension going on right now. When is it possible we might get into war? We might get an EMP. Is it possible that terrorists, no, they don't know such thing. Terrorists, they wouldn't bother us. They all love America so much, especially the guys that we kicked for 20 years, and now we've armed them. They love us so much, they're going to bother us. In Iran, yeah, we're poking Iran. They're not going to bother us, even though the head of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard told somebody that, hey, we targeted 20 U.S. major substations to take down in case we have a war, and we've got sleeper cells there to do the job. You're just dreaming, right? That's what a lot of people think. No, this is real, guys. Our grid, there's too many ways to bring our grid down, and that's what we got to work on. That's got to change. All right. But just letting you know, the sun's out there, the sun's woken up, and it's getting more and more active. Anything could happen in that regard. You just never know. It's just a matter of time. In the meantime, let's get the grid fixed. And while you're waiting on getting the grid fixed and hoping and praying will happen, oh yeah, we've been pushing this for quite a few years now. Prep, get yourself ready. That's the main thing. Learn how to garden. Do learn wild animals. Watch my videos. One of the best places to find them is on my website, bringgregs.com. You can find all those videos separated out a lot better than you find on YouTube. All right, my friends. I wish everybody a blessed rest of the week. And hopefully, may your lights shine for a long time. Good night.